Know what that means. It's time for Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and director of operations, Amy Maley. Each week, the team will offer industry terminology, tips, and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old home ownership. We thank you for spending time with us today. Now, let's join this episode of Title Talk.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning into Title Talk 2.0. My name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are here with very special guests, and we've got two of them. And I'm blocking one of them's neck. One of the guests that we have is Barb Cooper. She's been with us before. She is a part of the Realtist Program and Association. And then we've got her friend, CJ. Thank you guys for being here today. Welcome. Why don't you guys do us a favor and tell us about you guys? Introduce yourselves, tell us what you do, why you're here, all that fun.
Yeah.
Go for it, girl.
Well, he already said my name, so I am with Realist. I'm a broker there. I work pretty much part-time right now, based on the fact that I have 4 kids. Yeah, so, I kind of run a little bit, but I'm running with it and, just going with it. CJ, what about you?
Yeah, well, we have the mom thing in common, for
Yeah,
sure.
we
I've
do.
got 2 kids. I'm trying to catch them only at half, but no, actually, no, fine with 2, But I work at Realist part-time. I'm also licensed in Illinois at Front Street Real Estate, so I'm there part-time also, and been with Realist for over a year now and love them. They're like a family, so it makes me really comfortable in the industry because I'm a little bit newer. I've only been doing this for about 2.5 years. So.
Comfortable in the industry, but not comfortable doing podcasts. Right?
Well, it's my first one. It's literally my first
You
one.
can never say that again.
I
Never.
know, you're right.
Right?
You're
This
right.
is your last
Done with the first.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
See,
So,
this is
yeah.
great.
It's
Well, again, we thank you guys for joining us today and taking some time out of, we know busy days are what you
Yeah.
guys do and have. What brought you to kind of this business in the industry? Like, why did you guys, choose real estate, and talk about your journey to that?
Oh my goodness, the journey. So I was in live events prior to COVID, and I loved it. I did it for 20 years. I traveled to some cool places, met amazing people, worked on wonderful, large scale, small scale, great causes, great events. And then I was in the Dominican Republic on March 9th, watched the World Shutdown on March 13th, and almost didn't make it home to my babies on March 16th. It was scary. We were one of the last flights off the island.
That's real.
And
I just got like thinking about that. Yeah.
It was an eye opener. My husband and I, luckily, we made it home, and in that moment realized that maybe things need to change. And then the industry made that decision actually for me too, because a lot of people in that industry really had some tough times, as a lot of other industries.
Right.
But I still have that network of people. I'm a people person. I like to help people. I'm a great organizer. And I had some friends in the biz, and they said, come to real estate. It's flexible. You can still be a mom. You're still helping people. You can network with all those people. And I did. And so in 2021, I started my real estate journey. And
Awesome.
It's been quite a learning curve. I'm still trying to learn.
It probably will for the next 40 years,
It's a
right?
never-ending learning
I
cycle,
like not,
honestly.
I like not being an expert. I like learning. So yeah, that's where I am here.
Yeah,
So,
if you're the smartest person in the room, you gotta find another room, right?
100%.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Challenges,
Barb, what's your journey?
My journey. I mean, let's go back. I was a massage therapist for 20 years. I ended up retiring from that after my daughter was born, and I became mom. I worked in mortgage in between because massage wasn't very, fluid with income, so I kind of liked the stability of the mortgage industry. But when my daughter went to kindergarten is when I kind of looked at myself and said, okay, well, now what do you do for 8 hours?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I tried real estate in my 20s in Illinois, but I got nervous, and everybody kind of was like, oh, can you do this? And I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah.
But I did it at 36, and I started in Vegas, and I learned a lot from them and what I shouldn't do. And then I took that and I applied that here after COVID ended. Like for me, COVID ended in 21, and
Sure.
I said, let's go back into the classroom, let's meet people, because I was new in Indiana, and I didn't know a soul. And everyone was like, why would you get a real estate license in Indiana if you don't know anybody there? I'm like, it's a perfect
Why
state
not?
to start.
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the agents in Illinois to take care of that side if I have the referrals. And I like to focus on Indiana because that's where I live, and I want to know my areas. And I became an expert of Crown Point because of it. Like, I know everything about Crown Point.
And during the pandemic, Indiana was one of the most sought areas to move,
Yes.
not just in this region, but
Yeah.
in the country. There were
Right.
people leaving their
Oh,
house
yeah.
and coming to the Midwest,
Yes.
and the Northwest
Indiana
Indiana
boomed.
area was one of those places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because we were just talking about a statistic yesterday that Chicago was the second on the most leaving
Yes,
of
yes,
places.
yes. Oh, yeah.
LA was one,
LA
and
was
we were
one.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Los Angeles, when I lived in Vegas, and a lot of California, I see.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Into Arizona, into Nevada,
Out of those
Utah.
big cities.
Yeah.
And
They were
into
just-
the-
I mean, but you're selling your home for $1 million and you're buying something for half.
Apples
and
And
oranges.
it's all-
Right,
that's-
right,
that's-
right,
That's a
right.
smart
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
But
and the
yeah.
lifestyle. You're
Right.
changing that lifestyle because the world changed in
Right.
those years.
Mhm.
Yeah, and truly, that's what you talk about. It's like you're simplifying your life. You're moving from Chicago, which is an expensive city with
Yeah.
taxes and things. If you moved to Indiana, definitely less.
Major change.
Tennessee, certainly a change. I mean,
Super.
the
Absolutely.
migration has always been south and east.
Yes.
It's happening. So being licensed in Indiana, I think makes total sense. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly why we did it.
Yeah.
To kind of capitalize on that shift of what's going to happen.
Yeah, that
and
market
adapting to the
movement.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the market,
Uh-oh.
how's it changing over the last couple
I mean,
months?
is
What
it-
are you guys seeing?
Honestly, it is a completely, real estate's new every single day you wake
Yeah.
up. I mean, what we say, I always hear that, oh, well, in 2008 and 2018, and I'm like, guys, talking the same story that I have heard over the last decade. Give me something new.
Yeah.
Right.
There is a lack. There isn't enough, and even with what's happening with the financial side of it, there's not enough inventory.
Yeah,
Yet
the biggest
there-
thing is the inventory.
Yeah, and the interest rates.
Yeah, because why would
Nice.
someone who's been living in a house for 10 years that is locked in at their 2-3%
Yes.
sell and move into a 6 or 7%? You know, about a year and a half ago, when people were getting way more than what their houses were worth,
Right.
and they were able to sell it in days, it made sense because
Yeah.
you were moving, you were staying locked into
Sure.
that rate, or at least a little
Right.
bit higher. Now, that inventory just disappeared even more so because people are moving because they have to.
That's the only reason. why.
Yeah, not because they can capitalize more on their house or they just want to sell. So
Just to get bigger.
yeah, it's the
It's
inventory.
more about the
that's biggest thing.
downsizing now that I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of people selling their homes and buying smaller.
Yeah, like selling family
And
homes
and
things.
yes, and then buying
Yes.
something within a reasonable amount. And they're being very cautious. And I think that's smart, especially at this point where it's like we're in new territory. We're always
Yeah.
in new
Yeah.
territory
Yeah.
with it.
Right.
So we're uncertain. We just don't know what's going to happen. So we're just kind of going with the flow.
And really, if you even expand on that, like even the interest rates at 6%,
Yeah.
it's not terrible.
Nope,
Because I mean,
it's
I
not.
remember a time when they were
Historically.
double digits, right?
Absolutely.
But I think people got spoiled at the threes
Three,
and fours and
Yes.
even less than 3. They're
And
going,
they
I
can't
missed
imagine
that,
it.
right?
Mhm,
Well,
right.
Okay, you did, but 6 still isn't that bad.
It's
Seven,
not
I
that
mean,
bad.
So, and people always need to move. People still, buy houses, sell houses. There's still a portion of people that job relocations and things happen.
Right.
So, but
Or babies.
Yes.
okay.
My husband and I are in the process of looking for.
Okay, you're okay. You're not in the process. You're in the process
I'm
of
not in the
looking for a
process of
home.
trying to have a child right now, but
Yeah,
We don't want any
You know,
breaking
so-
news here.
so I'm currently living in my husband's dad's house. We bought it from him,
Mhm.
so it's a smaller one.
I'm sweating. Don't mind me. I'm a little warm over here.
It's like a 1 bathroom, 3 bedroom. It's a cute little house, but
Yeah.
we are talking about kids and all earmuffs. We're starting to talk about that. Like the next step is to see what else is out there as far as houses and stuff. And it's
Right.
like, holy.
And I told you, there's nothing out there. The housing market sucks. It's terrible. It's tragic.
Stop looking.
Stay where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably moving like 2040. I think that's a great time.
I mean, and she's got some kind of EV tunnel. I mean, however long it takes, you'll find it.
We will. And
You'll find it.
it's just, I feel like, what I'm seeing right now is people are listing their houses like they were 7 months ago
Yes.
when they were getting like that premium
Yeah.
amount. And
And
It's
now
free
you're just
time,
seeing
you're
those
gonna
price
see
cuts,
that.
seeing those price, or they're
Yes.
sitting on the
Yes.
the market longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
and
And
so I'm seeing that stuff right now.
you are.
And the appraisals aren't coming in. I mean, they're not
Yes.
appraising for what they used to
Yes, they're not,
because
yeah.
it's not the same apples to apples
It's
comparison
not.
anymore.
It's amazing how much has changed.
They want
this year.
2019 to happen in 2023, and it's not.
Right, and we're never gonna go back. And that's the thing.
And
It's like,
that's
I think,
okay.
what COVID did is I think it fast forwarded our industry 10x because, we would have been where we are today, but this just shows what Americans can do during a pandemic, during a difficult time. We advanced technology so fast and made it to be where it is that people are going, well, when we go back to, no, don't understand, we're not going back.
We're not.
It's
Right.
like, we're here, let's embrace this and let's go forward.
Right.
Like, let's not worry about going back anymore. So, you know, Tammy's point, I mean, she's looking for houses, and it's so refreshing to hear that she can't find any. I mean, and she's going, I'm just seeing the same things over and over again, and I'm going,
That's how I talk too.
Yeah,
Really?
That is my voice.
that was the best impression of Amy I could.
And I like how your nostrils flared too when you
Look
did
at
it.
see,
I
that's what
know.
you do, you get that
The
credit on
moment
that.
you know he hit it is when his ears wiggle.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the thing.
Heart rate's up to 125, thanks guys.
Check it.
Appreciate you, yes, I have to do that, you know, otherwise I mean, just fall over. I hope you guys are training CPR.
I am
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
because the
See,
massage
look, we'll
therapy
test
I
that
am.
later.
We're moms. We can do anything. We're super.
All right,
we
well, I
can do
feel
anything.
She wants to do everything.
They can do it all. Look at it.
But they're in the advanced class of moms.
You know what?
Are
You
you
know
calling
what?
them old now?
I say,
okay.
I say,
Man!
I say to my son who's 9, anytime something comes up and I don't know how to handle it, I said, Bud, who made me a mom? And he's like, God. I'm like, yes, okay, but who really made me a mom? Like, I did. I said, okay, so I don't know how to handle this because I've only been doing it for 9
Oh,
years.
he didn't.
Let
No,
me figure
your
it out.
husband did-
And I'll
no.
get back to you.
I
I do.
Let me talk to him.
I say that to my son all the time. We figure it out because we're still learning. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still learning. My
we're
son's
still
16,
learning.
and I get
Yeah.
questions, and I'm like, I have to get back to you on that. 'Cause
I'm still learning my
You're
son's
gonna have to
first.
see.
I'm like, well, you're my test child.
Yeah.
Anything I fail with you, I can fix with the
But
other.
that's what being superheroes are. Is you make it to what is it?
Fake
You
it till
take
you
it
make
till you
it.
make
Fake
it.
it till you make
Yeah.
it.
So that's what we're all doing.
Work hard.
All right, we hit 1:30. All right, I should be going down any minute now. So you know, stay tuned. Go ahead, you're up.
I
Amy.
asked my question.
You did, sweet.
That's your turn.
So really,
Now I'll let you talk
when you
again.
talk about the, you know, what you're seeing in the market and the changes of what the market really is, you know, so I think people are scared by social media, by the news and things. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, lock your doors, don't try to sell your houses, don't try to buy houses. Like, it's not, you know, you hear depression, recession, you hear all
Yeah.
of those terms. Where are you guys at with your thinking on your feelings of what you're seeing? And you're talking to your clients, and are they nervous? Are they scared? Where are they at in these thoughts and conversations?
You know, I think it's just such a variety, like you were saying, of the reasons why people are buying and selling today, that it's just not one category that they fall in. You've got a lot of millennials that got their degrees, they moved in with their parents, and now they're looking for houses, which is taking a lot of inventory. You have a lot of the elderly that are moving on to different chapters of their own lives, whether that's assisted living or smaller homes, and so you have their homes. And when you have that mix of homes that are updated or very specific homes that people want, and I'm not just trying to single out the bookends of our generation, because there's everyone in between there, you know, it's such a you know, ebb and flow area right now, because there's just not one type, there's just not one character, there's just not one personality. And I think that also makes our job very interesting, because we could be working with a client
Yeah.
and then tomorrow it's a totally different in all aspects, whether it's what they're pre-approved for,
Right.
what they're looking for. And I kind of like that as a cool challenge.
Yeah.
That was one thing I loved about events, and I used to say this, events are like apples. The core is the same, the outside looks different.
Right.
Real estate's the same way.
Mm.
You know, you
Good
still
analogy.
have to get pre-approved, you still have to get your vendors, you
All
still
the
have to
things
get that.
go around.
But what comes, that end result is so different for each person. It's a cool challenge that it's not just, this is how it's gonna be for every single person moving forward. I like it, I like the challenge personally.
Honestly, the variety is great. I mean, I worked with so many clients that had like one specific thing they needed, and it was like, I will not even look at anything unless it has this,
that
and
happens.
this.
Right.
I had a client that asked if he could try to park his truck in the garage once, so it's great. Like, go ahead, try it out, see if
Yeah.
it works. I'm just, if it breaks,
If you
That's
did
a
it, yeah.
sticking point.
If it breaks,
If you did, we'll talk about it later.
yeah, you know, and
Yeah.
he liked the home, but the car didn't fit in the garage,
there
so
you
it
go,
didn't
move
work,
on.
you know, but it's like they have specific needs.
And that
you
was a
just
deal
try to-
breaker.
It was a deal breaker,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it comes down to a garage and it doesn't fit your car and you love your car and you want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I made my agent measure the garage to see if my husband's truck would fit in it.
Right, right. Yeah,
It's
that makes
the
sense.
thing.
And social
you know?
media, I think, really helps us. We were talking about this earlier, just how if you're not sold in that virtual world, how are you going to make it in the real world? And
Yeah.
social media does help us because we can see a lot before we take the clients there, so we
Right.
can help weed it out if those are those sticking points. If the
Yes.
garage has to be a certain thing, or I don't want land without trees, and so. You know, just like anything else, it's got its bittersweetness. It can help us, and it can also really, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's a great answer. It really is a great answer to the question. I think that, I appreciate the different perspectives because, I think there's a stigma about that whole real estate space of, people aren't buying houses because ... You
Right.
fill that in. And
Yeah.
it's, social media that fills in that blank. And a lot of what you guys do, a lot of what we do, it's all relationship based.
Yeah.
It is.
And really building rapport with people and getting a comfortability. They get comfortable with you guys, now they're trusting that you're showing them something that is really what they're asking for.
Right.
Versus,
Mhm.
we don't connect, you're just showing me houses because you want me to buy whatever,
Right.
and you're not working
Right.
on my best behalf. So,
Right.
relationships are huge in what this whole thing is and what you guys are doing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's cool to hear that and
A big
go through that
component.
process. Yeah.
Are you guys seeing any people traveling towards new construction more? Or are you not really?
Not in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
Most of mine are very much so into the existing residential
Got it.
that's there. I did bring it up to a couple of them because of their needs, that would
And
be
that's what
more
I was
ideal.
thinking, yeah.
But they're trepidatious about the fact that with that housing boom and how fast they're building them, and I said, they have warranties, I understand, but if you ever do need the information, I have it ready. So,
Yeah.
I'll email it over as soon as they would say, yes, send me something. I'm
Yeah.
prepared for
Yeah.
all those things, but builders are different, it just depends on what they're looking for.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah, I would just agree. I've got a couple clients that have asked about it, they've gone to talk to some of the builders, but when it comes down to it, that move-in ready, it just fit
Yeah.
for them
Yeah.
better. It
Mhm.
wasn't anything against the
Right,
builders, just
right.
the timing wasn't how long they needed it, or they found something else, but we still recommend them.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Because you
work
think
with-
you show somebody 20 houses.
Yes.
At one point, are you
would
like,
think
just
okay, is
we
this
just
building?
need, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Let's turn
Yeah.
that a little bit here, but
Yeah.
they're just
It-
like, nope.
It matters on the time frame. It matters
Correct.
on
Yeah.
the specific things that they want, like the locations are limited,
Like if you have to
obviously.
wait 6 months for the house to be completed and you have to
Needed.
wait for 6 months, then it's hard, because if
Yeah.
you're selling something and it's just kind of like
For
that, it
sure.
has to be a perfect,
Right.
it's a perfect recipe for that to work.
Yeah.
Or if
Really.
they're contingent on selling their house and needing that money to buy the
Buy
house,
it.
then they're homeless for those few months. So,
Right,
yeah,
right.
like exactly like you said, it has to be that perfect storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timing is always a big piece to
Yeah.
try to connect, and it often doesn't work out, but what does work out is the whole transaction. Like,
Right.
They get so worked up about, but if I don't sell my house, I got this, now I gotta carry too much, slow down. Take a
Right,
breath.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It
Give
definitely
yourself
is.
some grace.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about the end result.
Right.
It's about the journey getting
Exactly.
there. And
Enjoy the process.
enjoy the
Yeah,
process.
absolutely.
It's the largest investment you'll make in your life.
Oh,
You
I'm
pay
sweating.
more for a house than you do for a boat,
sweating.
than a car, than whatever. It is.
Yeah.
So why not take the time? Why
Right,
not
right.
ask the questions? Why
Right.
not go through all the steps
Everything, yeah.
properly?
Totally.
You don't want to race this. This is something that is going to be a process, and if you're not taking the time, you're rushing it, and then the consequences will be there. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, I say that to the clients if I'm working with them longer than a few months and they're nervous. I say, I'm not going anywhere. I say,
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there. I got nothing but time. As long as God keeps giving it to me, I got
Right.
nothing but time.
And I think that's where we're at right now. My husband's getting like antsy.
Yeah.
We have seen 10 houses, and he's like, "Oh, this one's good. I like this one." I'm like,
just,
"You would like a box with like, a toilet at this point."
Right.
So, he's getting antsy. So I'm like, "It's fine. This is part of what it is." Like,
Yeah, you gotta
I hear
enjoy it.
you.
Yeah, you gotta enjoy
Make
it.
your wish list. Make your
Yes.
your have tos.
Mhm.
What the things you're willing
Yes.
to bend on.
And then the things that don't break the deal. Like,
Yeah.
things that you can live without, but it would be nice to have
Mhm.
if it was available.
Yeah.
And get a good team behind you. I was just telling Barb about a situation that happened recently with one of my clients, and again, because this is the largest investment, get the best team behind you. Get someone that you trust as your realtor. Get your legal team, someone that you feel comfortable with. Get the lender. All of those pieces of the puzzle. If you're willing to save $500 because you can have a lawyer for free on a $800,000 investment, your math's off.
right.
Good.
Pay
Right.
that $500.
Right.
I had a client a couple months ago that that genuinely considered skipping the inspection
No.
because we walked in and the house was flawless. It was flawless. It was beautiful. It
Yeah.
was a wonderful, reputable company that flipped the house. Great rapport with the agent.
Yeah.
He stood by his word. It was great. I trusted him. The client was on the fence. In the end, we said, let's do it. Let's pay it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
And thank goodness we did, because the inspector worked their butt off trying to find anything wrong, and in the very, very, very corner, creepy point of the house, the tiniest little bit of mold that would have never been found had they been so thorough. Instantly, the builder fixed it. It was remedied, no questions asked. But had we skipped that $600 inspection,
Oh my God! And when you're
Yeah.
and then
so all those little things where you think, oh, it's 500 here, it's 600
Yes.
here, it's over. Yeah, that adds up,
Yeah.
but not against your $500,000 investment.
No.
It's not worth it. So get a good team behind you, and
That's-
it
and
makes
we-
you trust
we
them.
For
say the
anybody
same thing.
watching, yeah, this is great advice. Make sure you're
Yeah.
listening to this because
It's a
hearing
big
it from the
deal.
professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys are just tuning in, we are talking to CJ and Barb, part of the Realtist team. And one thing that I think that you guys might start seeing, because we're starting to hear it in the title side, is the foreclosures and some of these short sales coming back around because of the forbearance piece of what happened during COVID. Now, some of these folks didn't go back to work, some of these folks are still searching and looking for the optimal job, so now those deals are going into foreclosure. So we're starting to see kind of a trickling effect of what that might look like. And, you know, the importance of exercising your realtors into this earlier than later, I can't tell you how important that is. Like, if you're struggling, if you're not paying your mortgage, I get it. I understand the whole pride piece, but you got to seek out the professionals right away, because that can be the difference between saving your credit and protecting your investment versus you guys losing it all and really, really affecting your credit scores and things. So you guys may start to see that as an influx in what may happen, and it's a totally different animal. And you know,
Yeah.
it's something that we're very well versed in, because we went through it in the 06 and 07, 8, 9, 10
Yeah.
era, and there are a lot of people that don't know how to do it and
Right.
don't do it well. So telling the folks out there to watch that and pay attention to that, and if you need help with that, certainly reach out, because this is certainly something that these guys can help with. We know we can help with it. It is an important piece as time evolves and we start to see the next shift and next wave of, in the real estate world, we call it like, hey, what's
Yeah.
next? Because
Yeah.
it's just
Right.
it's a cyclical thing, and you're going, all right, we're gonna ride the waves, and some of them are gonna be fun and some of them are gonna suck. And
Yeah.
right
Right.
now, we're in that, hey, this sucks a little bit right now.
And
It's okay.
piggybacking off of what you're saying too, in that same sense, if you are in that situation and you may have some marks on your score, the best thing to do is be honest with your agent. Again, that pride thing is a big deal, but and these scary words, divorce, bankruptcies, child support payments, all those things. The faster that you can get that team that you trust behind you, helping you get through that, the quicker you can get to that closing deal, and the quicker you can feel that freedom.
Yes.
If you try to hide it, if you try to, just absorb it all on yourself, I mean, this is true in any aspect of your life. Get it out there,
Creating a
have
storm
people
inside
help,
of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then that can just cause more problems and can't get you out of that.
Yeah, and
that-
it's like, it's not about saying that you're a bad person because
No.
those things happen. It's
You
called
need help.
real.
Transparency
Yeah,
is
it's-
necessary
It's
because
reality.
without it,
Yeah.
that's what it
And
is.
everyone has those skeletons in their
Yes.
house
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
level. Maybe they're, not extreme and maybe they're minimal, but everyone falls somewhere in that category.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk to
And-
10 people, and 10 people will tell you 10 different stories, but they're all that, some aspect
Absolutely.
of a skeleton in the closet if they're being truthful to themselves,
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
bringing in the professional saying, that's not a measure of you as a person saying that, I fell into divorce or I had to go bankruptcy. It's like, those used to be stereotypes that people would go, oh gee, I wonder what happened to them over there. Did you see her? They're
A lot more
bankruptcy?
common than people realize,
Yeah.
and they just don't talk about it.
Absolutely.
And so, we can help, the lender can help, but the sooner we have that piece of the information, the faster we can help you.
No,
So-
Absolutely a good tip,
Do you
absolutely
want
good
to do
tip.
either of yours?
Yeah, I will. I'll give you, so as we kind of wrap this thing up, I'd love to, so I do a podcast for a group of folks that we're doing this. It's this Amplify Prosperity Network. And my podcast is the inspired name, go figure. It's called Inspired for Success. So the question that I ask everybody throughout the process of this podcast is, and I've interviewed a lot of very successful people, how do you guys define success?
Happy. Seriously, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
And
Being yourself, not trying to be who you're not, just being real, a real person. I put that in all my social media.
realist.
I'm a mom and wife first. Yeah, a realist, right?
Yes.
A realist, and that and it's so true. I mean, you gotta be yourself.
Love it.
You can't.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yes, she's got all these great ones.
There you go,
Yeah.
hashtag your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
I mean, I
That's
want to work
true, though.
with people that are like-minded. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's where it comes from.
I say
And
that,
so you
I'm
just
like,
keep,
yes.
You say it all the
I
time?
say
you know,
that.
you flow
Yeah.
with that. I mean,
And you feed off of it.
Yes.
You become a better person because you surround yourself around those people that are being themselves as well.
and they
It's-
push you, they drive you, they give you inspiration. That's what you
can
need.
count
That's
on
happy.
them.
That's you show that, and everything else just kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
I think it's so important, as you guys shared those definitions for yourselves, because they were each, different,
Yeah.
but, there were some similarities. A lot of people, when asked that question, especially the younger generation, they're answering it as if that's what we want them to say.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're not really truly thinking for themselves, what is success? They're going, well, they want me to say these things, so that's what I'm gonna say. No, the question is truly, what do you feel?
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
what happens is it evolves. When we
Yeah.
were in our 20s, success was, let's get through school alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's come
get
out of
that
school
job.
alive.
Yeah.
Let's get the job and,
Yeah.
let's make that next deal and let's make money so we
Yeah.
can live. Now, my definition of success is coming at home and being safe and having the people around me, giving and sharing whatever I can with everybody else and making a difference in the world. That's success. So
Right.
in my 20s, there's no way that was success.
Yeah.
So it is an evolving thing.
It is.
But as as you talk to the younger generation, it's an interesting answer, and it is startling to go, all right, they're gonna want me to say this. So success for me is, no,
No.
be real.
Yeah.
Come down,
Yeah.
it's your answer, not mine.
Because that's going to be a lot easier to live up to for the rest of your life than
Because
what
it's
you
yours.
think somebody wants to say, and then what did I say? Shoot, what
Yeah.
is it? Yeah, just be real, be yourself, be
Yeah.
happy, find those people and things in your life that make you happy and keep them around you.
And
Yeah.
this is why we have these folks on, because they're real. And these,
We're
again,
realists.
and this is why we line up with, we try to, bring people out and do business with the folks that we like to align with. And obviously, this is exactly why, to show you guys, live, that we're not just saying this stuff. It's truly
Yeah.
a connection of, when you do business with people, because you have a relationship with them, it's not like doing business. It's just like you're spending more time with them.
With your
Honestly,
family.
like with,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
people that you want to hang out with. I say
Right.
people over property.
Totally.
That is the motto. The motto for realists is people over property.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Because we don't look at you as
We
just
look at
a-
you as a transaction. We look at you as our
Yeah,
friend.
absolutely.
We want to build those relationships with you way past that transaction ending. I pop over my clients all the time and drop out little cards
Yep.
or
Yeah.
say, "Hey, how's it going?" I mean,
Yep.
We
Makes a
were,
huge
we were part of
difference.
it. We were
Yeah.
part of your journey. We were
Yeah.
part of your journey to get to your
and
destination.
it doesn't end at
That's-
the
I mean,
table. It
no.
never ends at the table
Yep.
for me. I
Makes a
always
huge
check
difference.
in.
Right
Yeah.
on. Right on. All right, well, before we get you guys out of here, Amy likes to ask the wonderful questions that, this is hers, this isn't mine.
This is mine.
I can't
Oh, no.
take ownership
Now I'm
for this.
nervous. Okay.
No, nurse. Horror stories. Any horror stories in your realm of real estate that you want to share?
I showed a house one time that on social media, on all the pictures, the MLS, all the sites, everything we saw, it was this beautiful white.
It wasn't
you
in
know,
Lockport, was it?
No.
Because
It was the white wall. It was the gray walls, the white trim, exactly what everybody
Yes.
wants the house to look like for whatever reason right now to move in. And so I took my clients there. As soon as I got to the door, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting smell. Maybe it's the outside. I opened the door. The entire house was covered in molds.
Oh!
Pictures were totally photoshopped. They were. It was from for the. There was like a hole in one of the roofs, and then there was water from the ground, and the mold was creeping up. I shut the door. My one client, the gentleman, he's like, I gotta see this. So he put like a mask on, and he went. He looked at it, and right away I was telling, I'm like, I can't believe you would show this house this way. He's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it.
Oh.
So I reported him to my managing broker, and you can go beyond that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But
Oh my
I
gosh.
was blown away. I was because and unfortunately, misrepresentation does happen
Yeah.
because we
Yes,
can
yes.
Photoshop the pictures.
Right.
We can,
Right.
and obviously we got my clients out of there safe enough. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
now let's not believe what the photos say. So that
Oh
that's my
my
Well,
horror
so
story.
that's a great tip for those folks that are buying like investment property from California and looking
Yeah.
at
See?
pictures.
Yes.
The
Like,
Just
photos
pictures,
combined.
yeah.
I mean, don't buy a house just from pictures. Like,
Yeah.
literally, this is
And
what
I,
was happening.
and I have wonderful photography friends. I'm not putting down this industry at all. You are so talented, all you photographers out there, what
Yes.
you can do, and
Yes.
you do showcase our houses in a beautiful way. This was obviously a very extreme
Yes.
case.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
You know, but,
That's not the
and,
norm.
and we don't mean the photos lie in that sense. These wide angle cameras they
Yes.
showcase the house
Sure.
wonderfully. The lighting showcases the house wonderfully, but you still have to go and see because we have this wonderful advanced technology.
Totally, yes.
It looks very different in the virtual world than it
It
does
is
in the
so
real world.
good.
So
So
that's my
good.
horror story.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, mold it.
I'm not asking you to top that, Barb, but
I don't
do you have
think I
anything?
could.
Well, no, I think
Honestly, there was a property in Munster that I did go and show, and they were very interested in it. So the bottom floor was represented correctly. It showed that it had like the bottom drywall taken out.
Yeah.
So that obviously there was water.
There's water,
down
mhm.
there, right?
Mhm.
So I called the agent and I asked him. He's like, the house has been winterized. It has been shut down. You know, so go right ahead. But there's no heat, and it was
Right.
in the winter. So I'm walking through the bottom floor, and my client really liked this house
Yeah.
until I walked to the vent, and there was water coming in through the vents of the bottom floor. And I
Oh,
looked
was
at
it
that.
flooded?
I called him, and he's just like, "Oh, I wasn't aware." I'm like, "Don't turn on your furnace then. Like,
Yeah,
don't
right.
just don't turn
Oh
that."
my
Right.
gosh.
There was water in every single vent on that bottom floor,
Oh,
and I
wow.
was like,
It'd be like a sauna coming
Yeah.
out.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was listed for quite some time even after that, but I don't know how you would even try
Yeah,
to
you guys are all over
fix
it.
that.
Yeah.
But that's mine. That was like
Yeah.
that and walking over dead animals. But I go into the
Yeah,
weirdest
sure.
places, you
Sure,
know.
sure.
I have clients that want to go and buy investment properties
Yeah.
up in
Oh, yeah,
Whiting, and
yeah.
these sellers are just. They're
Yeah.
sellers, and there was like a dead raccoon down
Yeah,
there.
yep,
I
we've seen
stepped
it.
right over it. I said, "Okay, look down, you know what, look down and jump right at the doorway. There's a dead thing there." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, cool.
But no,
Let's
you're
go."
right. When
And
we
we just
work
keep
with
skipping into the basement.
when
I'm
we
like,
work with
fun.
flippers and they look at the as is
Yeah.
houses that
Yes.
are under 50 grand, you
Yeah.
don't know what you're about to walk into.
Yeah.
So I have like a certain pair of boots that I wear that I
Yeah.
make sure
Yes.
and I take them off before I get in my car because we see it all in those
We see it all,
properties.
and I'm not
But
afraid to walk in them.
it's part of the biz.
Yeah, I
And-
get it. Guys, it's been great. I really,
Oh, that's like
you know.
that house in the city there.
Oh, yeah, we did it too. Yeah, it's crazy.
Take me, I wanna go see
Oh, we got a
it.
question? We got a question. Brian, what's the question for our guests?
What do you guys think about starting May 1st with people having higher credit scores, having a higher interest rate, rather than people having lower credit score with a not so low?
The new Biden
The
thing.
Biden.
Well, I'm not very thrilled about it, honestly. I mean, everybody has that thought, but you know, as personally as me, I really don't feel like people that have great credit should be penalized for it.
How
While
screwed up is that?
while 620
Yeah.
gets a percentage credit, I looked at that the other day and I was just like, "Welcome to the world today."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not
You
much
work
can do.
hard. You work so hard to maintain that credit history, and they should not be.
Yeah.
I've heard,
Yeah.
and that's just me as a person, not
Yeah.
even as an agent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to go sell my house now. Like nope.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so I'll add the caveat to that because I think that there's more behind that. And as much as I, you know, kind of my opinion being, you know, I understand that,
Yeah.
you know, I disagree with it, but it impacts people who take 30-year mortgages only.
Yes.
Okay? It also impacts people, if you expand that out to the full 15 years, I mean, you're talking about a $10,000 or $15,000 increase. So it's
Right.
not, I mean, break the numbers down. Like
Right.
on paper and,
Right.
and
They
in the
just-
media, they make it go like,
They-
"Wah!"
and that's their
I
job.
think
That's
they-
their
I
job
think
to
they
scare
just-
you right away.
I
Right.
think they just want to make. I mean, take out the 740 and
Yeah.
ignore the 175%
Right.
penalty, and just look at the credit at 620, and they're just trying to help them
Yep.
get into a home.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
That's all that was here, but why here?
Right. Well, wait, why
Because
does
someone
somebody have
has
to
to pay
suffer
for
for
it.
that?
Because
Yes.
somebody has to pay for
Yes.
it, and
Yeah.
we're so good at paying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just
And realistically, you know, the American dream is home ownership.
Yes.
We all know that. So
Right.
giving and expanding the boundaries to say that now we're gonna allow more homeowners because we've changed the rule.
Yep.
Yeah, you did, but you penalized the majority, which is the middle class. So
Yes.
first of all, we penalized the upper class with the
Right.
taxes.
Right.
Now you penalize the middle class with the change in the
With the
mortgage
penalty.
programs so that more can afford houses. Yes. But if you look at that, you know, I think
But
there's
you're
still.
making the people pay who you know can pay.
Correct.
And that's what
Correct.
part
Yeah,
of
that's
that,
it.
like,
You know, we're all giving without really knowing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
We're all kind of doing a sense of, of charity.
And I
without
want,
doing
you know,
it.
I mean, people want to buy homes, that's,
Sure.
you know. and
Yes.
The American
that-
dream, like you
Yes.
said, yeah, I mean, that is our
Sure.
goal. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a, yeah.
But it's still not cool.
It's a weird place. No, I
weird,
agree.
it's
It's a
weird.
weird
We'll,
place that
we'll
we're in.
have to see, because this is like in 5 days, right? We're sitting
Yeah, it's
on,
coming,
on,
it's
uh,
coming, yeah.
April 27th.
We'll see how,
Great
you know,
question.
We'll see how the media
Yes.
feels it. We'll see how, what the media does with it,
Yeah.
how much
See
they
what kind of
talk
influx
about
that
it.
brings
Yeah.
in
Right,
too, because,
right.
you know, people
And-
were falling out of qualification with the percent rate
Right.
going up,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't able to find an affordable home that's within livable standards.
And what's it gonna do, like interest rates, what's it gonna
Sure.
do to just
Right.
home prices,
Right.
like how is everything else
Stay
gonna
tuned.
depend around
Yeah,
it?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in new
Right.
territory, so.
Yeah.
We
Oh
always
my
are.
God, I'm like,
You know,
We'll be back in a week
Yeah.
and we'll talk.
Exactly. It's an evolving thing.
Yeah.
It truly
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
truly is.
Thank
So-
you for that question.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
great
yeah,
question.
appreciate the question. Thank you guys for taking a few minutes to tune in here today. We certainly appreciate. Why don't you guys plug yourselves where they can get a hold of you guys, how they can contact you, and then we're going to let them go on their way, and you guys can do the same as well. So give them your plugs. You can read. They're right there.
Yeah, they're on there.
That way.
Yeah,
And you can actually kind of see it, I made it big so the readers can actually
Somewhere
see what's
over
going on.
here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I'm also CJ at Front Street Real Estate, but you can send it to either one if you're Illinois, Indiana, and I can.
And Barbara's going to be,
Sounds
you know, in the movies sometime soon too.
Yes, I think so.
She's got the movie headshot.
gorgeous
Yes, I
photo.
have to go to Chicago and try to audition.
I think so. If this whole real estate thing doesn't work out, LA, girl. LA,
I'm
out.
going, I mean.
Yeah. You guys, thank you for taking some time and tuning in today. We appreciate you guys, and we appreciate our guests as always. Thank you guys for
Thank
being
you
here
so
today.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys go ahead and have a great week, and we'll see you guys next week. My name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
Take care, everybody.
Bye. Oh my
There you have
gosh,
it.
I'm so
That is it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired YouTube page and subscribe and like. And make sure you follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.